What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another trade recap. In this recap, we're going to be going over how I made, actually I don't even know what my P&L is, can't lie, but $700 trading the NASDAQ. So, coming into today, we'll go to 9 o'clock. So my bias was bullish. We had taken out this low pre-market, and we had tapped into this 4-hour order block here, respected it, and started continuing higher for higher prices. On the 1 hour, you can see we have all these low resistance draws and liquidity here. Very, very obvious buy side levels to capitalize upon. It was just very obvious kind of day for me, to be honest. Kind of just a no-brainer. We ended up sweeping out London low here and then tapping the 4-hour order block. So this low was sponsored. This was also London low here. I didn't expect London low to get traded back to, purely because we pushed up, we inversed this 1 hour for value gap, and now we have this CISD, or you could call it the breaker block or the order block, whatever you want. I just used the breaker block. We had this breaker block and this 1 hour for value gap as well, protecting London low. So I really didn't expect London low to get traded to. In all honesty, maybe if we did come down, I'd expect like this low to get taken and then us rally higher, but that didn't even happen. So yeah, main draws for today were Asia high. I was expecting maybe an SMT around here. I did say that to Grant actually, which actually is exactly where the SMT. It was just below this high, this buy side here. So spot on analysis today, to be fair. I was ideally wanting longs, but never ended up capitalizing on. We did have a long opportunity, but I didn't capitalize upon it. I faded the trade. There was a way better trade on NQ than MNQ. We had a 2-minute inversion with on the NQ, and then MNQ was like a tiny 1 minute or two 30 seconds. But I don't take 30 seconds. I can't even see 30 seconds actually. And the 1 minute I just didn't really like, and I don't know. There was just a few things about this trade that I wasn't too keen on, so I'll go over it. But upon market open, so it was by there we go, market open here. So upon market open here, we just rallied higher, taking out Asia, this buy side, and we're coming up to this buy side. Now, I wasn't too concerned about any SMTs within here. I was more concerned about the SMTs up here because we're getting to the end of this buy side. I know that the draw is obviously higher towards previous day high, so I know that most of this is going to get taken. So I'm not too concerned about SMTs forming here and here. We ended up creating a 15-minute for value gap off of that wick there. So I was just really waiting for like some sort of retracement into some sort of for value gap so that I could get a long opportunity towards the rest of these buy side levels. So yeah, we ended up forming this 5-minute for value gap here that we ended up respecting. We never came down to this 50-minute. Then news came out, and then we created data low and data high. Wait, why does this look different? Oh no, because I'm not in the 1 minute. So yeah, we ended up creating data low and data high. If we're under 1 minute, we had data high here. Now this trade was the trade I was going to take. So if I go on to NQ actually, NQ1. Right, okay, guess I'm adding it on. Going to NQ, 10 was here, so boom, here we had this 2-minute inversion right here, which boom, you would have took that and then targeted the buy side. But on this one, I don't know why I'm trading this one actually. I don't normally trade this one. But anyway, on this one we never ended up getting 2 minute. We ended up having this tiny 1 minute, which I just didn't really like, to be honest. So I never ended up taking this trade. I ended up fading it. But if I was to take it, I would have done this and then targeted. Where's the buy side at? There's a, there you go, this one. There's this buy side. I would have targeted this buy side here. Just the closest buy side, or like a 1-to-1, and then I would have went break even here. But yeah, this was the trade that I faded. I shouldn't have really faded it, to be honest. It was a very good trade. I just don't know. I just felt iffy about how small the inversion was, so I just faded it. Did end up running to full TP. So if you took that, well done. Or if you took it on NQ, valid. If I was even looking at NQ, I would have took this actually. Just because obviously NQ is the leading pair. So after that, we were just like, there was nothing to take. There was no pullbacks or nothing like that. We ended up just forming 5 minutes and 15-minute gaps. We ended up SMTing previous day high, or not like previous day high, but the actual swing of previous day high, if that makes sense. Like the swing before previous day high was formed. So this swing up here, we ended up SMTing that. So at this point, I was like, all right, we could potentially get shorts here, like I said beforehand, but I'd ideally want to see maybe one of these two highs get swept. But obviously, if market shows me that we're going to continue lower, I'm going to capitalize upon that. So we ended up creating this SMT, and then we ended up forming this 15-minute here, and then these two 5-minute, as well as data low and this 15-minute down here. So I felt like we can maybe be bearish up until data low, but that is 180 points away, so it is a bit ambitious, but I wouldn't say it's not feasible, especially because we pumped up fucking nearly 400 points upon open with only one retrace. So definitely feasible shorts here. So the first short actually was this 5 minutes. So I'll show you the break. I'll get rid of all this shit actually now, because I can just add it back. So the first short was this 5 minute here. So I wanted to see either respect or disrespect this 5 minute. If we respected it, I'd probably try longs. If we disrespected it, I'd try shorts. So on this candle, we inversed it. I entered in shorts here with a stop loss at the body here. And then I was just going to target one of these two or all the way to data lows. And then break even at the 15 minute. So we ended up hitting the 15 minute. I went break even. I got break even on this trade, and then price ended up coming a bit higher. We ended up creating this internal SMT here with this high, as you can see. So we have two SMTs. We have SMT with previous day high, basically previous day high, and we have this internal SMT here. So I was looking for some time from alignment. If we got an inversion within here, I would take it, having this as my break even here. Oh, actually as well, I took a trade after this as well, actually. So see, when we respected the 15 minute, we actually inversed a 4 minute here, but I entered on the 1 minute inversion off of this with my stop under here, and then take profit all the way up there. I like the idea of the 1 minute, especially because the 4 minute was also going to close in 1 minute. But we ended up getting this SMT, so I went break even, got break even on that trade as well. But I actually I put my break even a little lower, so I actually took a wee loss on this trade, which to be honest wasn't very smart at all. And I'm not going to be doing that again, to be honest, because it's bad for the probability of my trades. So like, for example, if I went break even there, I wouldn't have lost money today, and I would have made more profits. So I don't know, it just kind of fucked my probability a bit, so I'm just not going to do that anymore. But yeah, so after I got basically break even on both those trades, I saw this 2 minute here, and I was like, okay, this looks very good for shorts now. We've got inverse of the 5 minute, we've got this is our break even here, and then we SMT'd an inverse of 2 minute. Scream sell to me, to be honest. So I ended up entering this, I got filled it there, and then I shorted, having my stop loss at the high, and then I targeted data lows again. A bit ambitious, but I was taking partials as we went. So yep, and then I entered that. We fucked a bit for a little bit, got break even. Didn't actually go full break even here on this trade. I trailed my break even to about here, and then the reason for this as well is because we had this breaker block here for protection, which we respected and then continued lower. We ended up hitting this 5 minute where I took my first partial, putting me up about 120 on the day. And then price ended up, I just ended up leaving runners, and then we ended up getting this. So this was the 5 minute, and that was my TP1. So bang, and then I ended up realizing that we could have a long opportunity off of this. So I ended up exiting my trade after we inversed this 3 minute here, and then I decided to enter in longs off of this. So I closed on this candle closing, and I entered onto longs, covering the body of this breaker block here. Breaker block, we have the inverse value gap, and then I ended up targeting these internal structure here, the one that formed this SMT, and then I ended up having my break even here, because we could just respect that breaker block again and then continue lower. So yeah, I ended up entering this with about, I think it was about it was a bit less than that, 350 risk. I don't actually remember how much I risked, can't lie, but I entered on this, and then ended up hitting break even there, and then we came really close and we started trailing down, and then to be honest, it got to like about here where we started just fucking about a bit, and I was just like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna close this trade. So I closed the trade about here for a 1 to 1.26. Ending the day off with a total profit of 700. So yeah, and then actually it was a perfect exit as well, because price just rallied down a wee bit of an emotional TP, but I was just fed up of being in the trade, so I was just like, yeah, I can't, like, fuck it, I'm not really arsed about being in this trade anymore. But yeah, those are the trades I ended up taking, the ideas I had, the reasons I took them. Arguably I should have took that 1 minute inversion long, but I wasn't really looking at NQ, and I didn't like how small the inversion was, so I never ended up taking it. But overall, pretty decent day. Can't complain, made money. So bias was spot on. Bias is not my spot on, to be fair. So can't complain with that. And yeah, that's it. Bye. Right, see you in a bit, boys.